Tuesday, June 25, the Millennium on Earth. Revelation 19 ends with a dramatic portrayal of the return of Jesus and the destruction of the wicked. But the story is not over. Revelation 20 introduces us to a period lasting 1,000 years, known as the Millennium. Read Revelation 20, verses 1 to 3. What is Satan's fate when Jesus returns? Revelation 20, beginning at verse 1. And I saw an angel coming down out of heaven, having the key to the abyss, and holding in his hand a great chain. He seized the dragon, that ancient serpent who is the devil or Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. He threw him into the abyss, and locked and sealed it over him, to keep him from deceiving the nations any more until the 1,000 years were ended. After that, he must be set free for a short time. The imagery in Revelation 20, verses 1 to 3, is symbolic. Satan is not literally bound with a chain and locked in a pit. For 1,000 years, he is confined to this desolate, depopulated earth, bound by the circumstances he himself has created. In 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4, we read that Satan and his angels were reserved for punishment by chains of darkness. Let's read that verse, 2 Peter 2, verse 4. For if God did not spare angels when they sinned, but sent them to hell, putting them in chains of darkness to be held for judgment. Satan will be confined to the earth by a chain of circumstances with no one to tempt. For 1,000 years he will see the devastation, destruction, and disaster that his rebellion has created. The Greek word translated bottomless pit is the same word from which we get our English word abyss. It also is the same word used in the Septuagint, the Greek translation of the Old Testament, to describe the earth at creation. Genesis 1:2 reads, "The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep." In the Septuagint, the word deep here is the Greek word abyssos, A-B-Y-S-S-O-S, abyss. It describes a desolate earth. The bottomless pit is not some subterranean cavern or some yawning chasm somewhere out there in the universe. Satan's work of sin and destruction, along with the tremendous chaos preceding the second coming, has brought the earth back to a dark, disorganized mass like its condition at the beginning of creation. Read Jeremiah chapter 4, verses 23 to 26, and Jeremiah 25, verse 33. How does the biblical prophet describe this scene? Jeremiah 4, beginning at verse 23. I looked at the earth, and it was formless and empty, and at the heavens, and their light was gone. I looked at the mountains, and they were quaking, all the hills were swaying. I looked, and there were no people. Every bird in the sky had flown away. I looked, and the fruitful land was a desert. All its towns lay in ruins before the Lord, before his fierce anger. And then Jeremiah 25, verse 33. At that time, those slain by the Lord will be everywhere, from one end of the earth to the other. They will not be mourned or gathered up or buried, but will be like dung lying on the ground. The prophet here emphasizes the catastrophic destruction at the second coming of Christ, and that no person is left alive on earth during this 1,000-year period. Satan and his evil angels are left to contemplate the havoc caused by his rebellion. The entire universe recognizes anew that the wages of sin is death. God deals with the sin problem so that it will never rise again. Nahum 1 verse 9. Let's look at that whole text. Whatever they plot against the Lord, he will bring to an end. Trouble will not come a second time. There are three prime ways God does this. First, he reveals his limitless love, passionate desire, and relentless efforts to save all humanity. Second, he reveals his justice, fairness, and righteousness. Third, he allows the universe to see the ultimate results of sin and rebellion. This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. Sponsored by the Sabbath School Department and distributed through Hope Channel Australia, this podcast is also redistributed by Hope Channel Germany, Christian Record Services for the Blind. It is also available on SoundCloud and through multiple podcast distributors, including Apple iTunes. And you can listen and watch at the same time on YouTube. Remember, God is always faithful.